Good afternoon from Finland. We would like to welcome everyone to this webinar and to celebrate 20 years of Finnish Vision Zero Forum with us. The Finnish Vision Zero Forum is a national network for workplaces sharing a genuine desire for continuous improvement of safety, health and well-being at work. My name is Maija-Leena Merivirta and I will be hosting this webinar together with my colleague Riikka Ruotsala. We are both members of the Vision Zero Forum team at Finnish Institute of Occupational Health.
Vision Zero represents a commitment to the continuous development of safety, health and well-being at work. It encompasses effective measures to prevent work-related accidents and diseases, as well as innovative practices that promote safety. In this webinar, we will have the opportunity to learn about real-life experience from various workplaces around the world, showcasing the practical application of Vision Zero approach.
So we will be hearing very interesting presentations for the next 3 hours. And halfway through this webinar, we will have a short break.
And now it's time to officially open our webinar. The opening words will be presented by Tommi Alanko. He is a Director of Occupational Safety Unit here at the Finnish Institute of Occupational Health. Vision Zero is a way of thinking that Tommi promotes and applies in his work. Tommi Alanko leads the task group Vision Zero, which is one of the task groups of Global Coalition on Occupational Safety at Work. He was also the organizer of the first Vision Zero Summit in Helsinki in 2019. Tommi, please, floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a warm welcome to this international webinar, Vision Zero at Work, towards a more sustainable and resilient future. I am truly delighted to be here today as we start our webinar that celebrates Finnish Vision Zero Forum's 20th year anniversary. The forum was founded in 2003 to support workplaces in safety and health. During the last 20 years, the forum has grown in numbers of participating workplaces. It has developed the occupational safety with workplaces and been really an innovating element at the Finnish workplaces. Now the forum has reached adulthood at 20 years and we are all eager to see what comes next. Today we will hear more from Tiina-Mari Monni, the leader of Finnish Vision Zero Forum, who will tell us what has been behind the 20 years of success in forum activities. This year the forum has hosted several national 20th year events and this webinar on Vision Zero is the main international event of the anniversary. This webinar is jointly organized with Finnish Vision Zero Forum, Finnish Institute of Occupational Health and Global Coalition's task group Vision Zero. The forum has been the cornerstone of Finnish Institute of Occupational Health's occupational safety activities and the relevance of the forum is growing all the time. I'm sure that Finnish companies participating the forum activities benefit from the networking and the research information that is disseminated through the network. But in the same way, we as a researchers are learning constantly what is important now in the working life and where more research is needed. Forum is a national network. There are also international networks that reach all over the world. Our joint organizer, Global Coalition and its task group Vision Zero is one of them. The task group has been very active on promoting Vision Zero on a global scale. As an example, there has been 2 international Vision Zero summits, from which the last one was held in 2022 in Japan. I want to thank the task group Vision Zero for their efforts in organizing this event. We have an opportunity to hear from task group members' view on the future of the Vision Zero at the panel discussion at the end of this webinar. Considering the numerous challenges faced in today's working environment, it is essential for us to envision how we can collectively contribute to a more sustainable and resilient future at work. One way to achieve this is through this webinar, which explores how to implement Vision Zero and cultivate a prevention culture in workplaces successfully. Vision Zero provides a great possibility to bring actors together and put both local and global scale collaboration to share knowledge, ideas and learn together. To be able to do that, you have to also be able to understand others, what they are doing and why. Vision Zero concept can be approached from multiple perspectives, and there are many forms and ways to implement it in practice. You can and you should choose that perspective on Vision Zero that is relevant to you and works for your situation. It could be that at some point a new perspective is needed, and then this great diversity can be used to advance the safety, health and well-being at your workplace. Today we have an opportunity to hear some of the different views and perspectives on how Vision Zero is implemented in practice. Stuart Hughes, Head of Health and Safety at Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team and President-elect for IOSH, will give a keynote presentation towards sustainable future at work. Tiina-Mari Monni from Finnish Vision Zero Forum will tell us what has been behind the success of National Vision Zero Network. We will hear how safety is cultivated in a global network in Sandvik Mining and Construction by their Global AHS Manager, Sini Adamson. Nana Van Chau, Vice President of Common Health Businesswomen Africa, talks about Vision Zero's objectives and principles, gender-specific approach in the informal sector, case study Africa. We will also hear about applications of collaboratively working robots for construction sites from Mr. Indo, who is a research fellow at Shimizu Corporation. And finally, we have a panel discussion on the future of Vision Zero by Task Group Vision Zero's members. So we have a wide variety of presentations from different sectors and actors. I do believe that you all will find something new and inspirational to take back with you from this webinar. I want to congratulate the Finnish Vision Zero Forum and all the workplaces and organizations who make this kind of networking and cooperation possible. So, once again, welcome and thank you for being part of this global conversation. Let us make the most of this opportunity to learn, share and inspire one another as we work towards the better future. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommi Alanko, for the opening words and drawing our attention to the multi-perspectiveness of Vision Zero approach. We will definitely have an interesting learning journey today to hear about various sides of the approach.
The next presentation is given by Stuart Hughes, IOSH President-elect and Head of Health and Safety for Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team. Stuart has worked across enforcement, consultancy and industry. He holds a guiding principle that a healthy and safe work environment is a fundamental human right. And beyond that, the work environment should enable people to thrive and flourish. Stuart is an advocate for performance-based occupational safety and health, specializing in enhancing organizational occupational safety and health performance and driving cultural change. Please welcome Stuart Hughes. Thank you, Stuart, for your inspiring presentation and also an interesting glimpse of the world of Formula One. Riikka, what do we have next?
As already mentioned, we celebrate the 20th birthday of the Vision Zero Forum today. Our next speaker is Tiina-Mari Monni, and she will share the forum's success story with us. Tiina-Mari works as a product manager at the Finnish Institute of Occupational Health, and she is the leader of the forum. Tiina-Mari's professional goal is to see the year when nobody must die at work in Finland. Tiina-Mari, now it's time to hear more about the forum.
Thank you, Riikka. The story of Finnish Vision Zero Forum starts from year 2003. There were 10 to 20 companies that were the first members of the forum. Today we are over 530 workplaces committed promoting safety, health and well-being at work. And doing it together at workplaces, managers and employees, together among Vision Zero Forum's member organizations, and together with Vision Zero Forum team at Finnish Institute of Occupational Health. Member workplaces of the Forum share the common vision of becoming leaders in occupational health and safety and are willing to share their experiences for the benefit of other members. Everyone has something to share and something to learn from colleagues and companies. We work openly, learning together and encouraging each other. There are no business secrets when we are developing safety and health. Safety culture must be built by every workplace. It's not something that you can copy. Instead, we say sometimes, steal with pride. Idea of the Forum is to promote occupational safety and the development of safety culture. Pass on the latest information on occupational safety trends, share benchmark information and best practices, produce tools and materials for members' everyday work, and offer a national and regional membership network. During next 20 years of existence, the focus of Vision Zero Forum and its member workplaces has evolved from accident prevention to a broader Vision Zero view of safety, health and well-being. It means a long-term commitment, holistic and positive approach towards the continuous improvement of occupational safety, health and well-being. When you look at this picture, zero accident is of course the basis to everything, to stay safe and alive at work. But it's not all we think that is included to Vision Zero. For example, we have noticed that when the overall safety level is getting better, the focus of the attention and discussions moves more towards psychosocial risks. On the other hand, Forum is open to all workplaces from all branches, so accidents are not necessarily things that have the biggest impact on safety and health at their work. What unites all workplaces is the aim for better workplaces for everyone. I like the idea that goal is zero no-flow working hours, or maybe it's zero surprises that we are not prepared for. It's often questions whether Vision Zero really is a vision, goal, strategy, way of thinking or possibility. We think that it is all of that. Ethically, it's the only sustainable goal. No one gets hurt or has to die at work. It's also social responsibility, sustainability, and learning together. There are many different opinions what Vision Zero thinking is really about. After all, there is no right way. It should be all of that. We need a vision, we need a strategy, we need goals, and we need a change in mindset. Different ways of thinking offer us an opportunity and possibility for joint discussion. In the end, Vision Zero is caring for your colleagues, your employees, and of course, your own health. The Vision Zero Accident Forum, today we call it Vision Zero Forum, was founded in 2003 to support workplaces in promoting safety and health. Forum is meant for all kinds of workplaces that are interested in prioritizing occupational safety and are striving to the forefront of safety. Vision Zero Forum supports all workplaces regardless of their level and maturity of safety. Forum is a voluntary network and it's open to any Finnish workplace regardless of its size or economic sector. Over 530 organizations belong to the Vision Zero Forum. These workplaces employ around 460,500 people, which is 18% of the Finnish working population. Member organizations come from 60 various economic branches. Industry sector covers almost a half, but other branches are, for example, construction, service sector, mining, logistics, and municipalities. Amount of member organizations has increased every year for the last 20 years. Member organizations' sizes vary from one-person company to the biggest employer of Finland, with more than 37,000 employees. Small and medium-sized organizations are most represented among the companies, which corresponds to the most common size of Finnish companies. Shared commitment to the Vision Zero is the key to Forum membership. When becoming members, organizations commit to following. We commit ourselves to sharing information on best practices with other workplaces. We will improve our workplace safety in cooperation with our employees and management. Health and safety are an integral part of our workplace's successful business operations. And the fourth, we commit ourselves to annually providing the Finnish Vision Zero Forum with information on our occupational safety. Vision Zero Forum provides its members examples of experience and good practices from workplaces. Forum creates opportunities for networking and learning from each other, and motivates and encourages workplaces to strive for a high level of occupational safety and health. Forum provides to its members information, materials like monthly OSH themes, ideas for toolbox talks, and webinars. Safety level certification is one of the first services of Forum. It's beneficial evidence for members' organizations to show their commitment and continuous improvement work of OSH also to their co-partners and supply chain. The criteria are built together with the steering committee consisting of both qualitative and quantitative OSH indicators. There are 3 levels of certification named as follows. Level 3, heading for world's forefront of occupational safety, that is the lowest level. Level 2, approaching forefront of occupational safety, and the highest level 1 is world's forefront of occupational safety. Vision Zero Forum provides workplaces possibilities to meet and share ideas. There are regional networks all over Finland to support local networking. Idea of local networks is to learn to know each other, so it's easier to ask for help in OSH matters. It's enlightening to visit workplaces from every industries. Every industry may be special on their own way, but there are people working like in every workplace, and possibilities of lessons to be learned and taken from one industry to another. Often the things that need improvement involve people, and they are solved by people. Vision Zero Forum seminar is the largest yearly occupational safety and health event in Finland and an important networking platform. There are of course interesting lectures at the seminar. There are expert speakers and workplaces representatives to share their ideas. Essential part of the seminar are visits to workplaces to see how OSH is put into practice. The secret of success of Vision Zero Forum is sharing and involvement. We provide support for people by people. Our Vision Zero Forum team at Finnish Institute of Occupational Health listens carefully to the workplaces and tries to create information that is needed in their everyday work. We ask the members directly what are the important issues at work where they need help and ideas. We can also apply all the knowledge from recent studies of Finnish Institute of Occupational Health research work concerning safety, health and well-being. Basic needs and expectations of member organizations have not changed during 20 years of existence of Forum, even though safety culture has developed hugely. According to our fresh member surveys results, the most important reason to be a member at Forum are networking with other workplaces and to get peer support from others struggling with the same things, to get new ideas to OSH work, to get up-to-date information like materials, webinars, best practices, and company's image, that's important too. to show other companies and also own people that we are committed to promoting safety, health and well-being by being a member at Finnish Vision Zero Forum. As a conclusion, what do we think of the future of Vision Zero Forum? Forum is and will be a valued community for occupational safety and health professionals. We cannot be sure how the working life will change over the next 20 years, but we believe that the need for sharing and caring will not decrease. We see that the Vision Zero Forum is going to be Finland's most respected network for the continuous improvement of occupational safety and health years on. We believe that we, by acting openly, positively, learning together and encouraging each other, will carry us to the next decade. We want to promote occupational safety and health and the development of safety culture regardless of the level of the maturity of members. We keep passing on the latest information on occupational safety trends and sharing benchmarking information and the best practices. And we will still offer a national and regional membership network. Most of all, we believe that occupational safety, health and well-being will be an even more important part of sustainability in the future.
As I have now a good opportunity, I would like to ask you, for you as a Forum's leader, what have been the highlights in Forum's activity?
I think that on the weekly basis, those are those moments when you hear from members how they have got ideas and have succeeded in developing OSH practices and how Forum has been able to support their work in that. So this everyday work helping companies, that are those highlights for the whole of our team.
Thank you for sharing this case. It really showed the power of collaboration and how workplaces can learn together to improve safety, health and well-being at work.
Our next speaker comes from the world of large machines. Sini Adamson is the Global Environment, Health and Safety Manager at Sandvik Mining and Construction, one of the Forum's member workplaces. Within the global network of the Load and Haul division, her focus is firmly fixed on safety. At Sandvik, safety isn't just a priority, it's their guiding principle with the vision of zero harm. Today, she will be talking about cultivating safety in a global network. Please, Sini, tell us more.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sini Adamson, the Global Environment, Health and Safety Manager in Sandvik's Load and Haul division. Today, I'm excited to take you on a journey through our commitment to safety and how we are cultivating safety culture within our global networks. First, allow me to provide a brief overview of Sandvik, what kind of company I'm talking about. Sandvik is a global high-tech engineering group with its roots in Sweden, and Sandvik's headquarters is located in Stockholm. Sandvik provides a wide range of products and services, including mining, rock excavation, drilling and processing, metal cutting, and machining. With a workforce of approximately 40,000 employees worldwide and a presence in over 150 countries, our core mission is to increase customer productivity, profitability, and sustainability. Now, let's narrow our focus to Sandvik's Mining and Rock Solutions business and the Load and Haul division. So, Load and Haul division is part of Sandvik Mining and Rock Solutions. At Load and Haul division, we design and manufacture heavy machinery, including loaders and trucks for underground mining. The design and technology, especially automation, electrification, and battery technology, has developed rapidly which makes underground mining not only more efficient, but also safer and healthier for the vehicle operators. While product safety and sustainable mining are certainly important to us, I would like to take a closer look to our production environment and how we are cultivating safety in our global operations. The heart and soul of Load and Haul division is settled along the Ora River in Turku, Finland. Turku is not only the manufacturing facility, but also a main location of Load and Haul division, including engineering, product development, and a range of supporting functions. Currently, Turku site employs nearly 900 people. While Turku site has the longest history within our division, we also operate in a few newer facilities located around the world. In Camarillo, US, we operate a production and a product development unit. In Changzhou, China, we have a production unit of smaller loaders and trucks. Loaders and trucks are also manufactured in Sandvik's facility in Johannesburg, South Africa. And additionally, we have a joint venture location in Jinan, China, though it operates independently from our operations. And last but not least, our newest production unit in Seremban, Malaysia, which will be ready for production next year. A couple lighter spots on the map means that Load and Haul division is also hosting of two Sandvik sales areas, Sales Area India and Sales Area Andria and South Cone. At Sandvik, safety isn't just priority, it's our guiding principle. But words alone are not enough. It's our actions that count. Achieving and maintaining the principle of zero harm requires commitment from the management and staff in all organization levels. What we don't emphasize, we tend to forget. This is why we maintain our focus on safety in our communication. Safety is the priority of every meeting and always the topic to discuss first. It's essential to consistently discuss safety, but also to be mindful of how we deliver the message. Our global environment, health and safety policy, along the common EHS objectives and sustainability goals, guides our safety efforts at every level. However, occupational health and safety work has become quite routine in recent times. We conduct risk assessments, report hazards and incidents, perform investigations, provide health and safety trainings, and so on. I could continue the list endlessly. We are proud of our progress in health and safety, and if we look at the incident rates or our sick leave days, we have a clear evidence for improving the health and safety in our employees. While we acknowledge the importance of safety, we understand that it should never be taken for granted, and real change happens within our people and in our culture. So what have we done with the Load and within the Load and Haul division to strengthen our safety culture? As I mentioned earlier, our Turku production unit holds the longest history within the Load and Haul division. Story of Turku site begins from the mid-70s, when the other locations have significantly shorter history. Camarillo unit joined through acquisition in 2019, when Changzhou and Seremban sites are completely new facilities with newly hired personnel. This, of course, creates challenges to our shared safety culture. Not only the culture and habits are different, but also the maturity of the company sets the safety to the different level. Our safety journey has many global programs and initiatives. These are just a few examples of the improvements delivered within past years, all focusing on improving the safety culture. Most of the safety programs have first been implemented in Turku and then extended to the other locations. So we have already and will continue executing these well-proven health and safety initiatives to all our locations. So let's see where we are heading in our safety journey. Our goal is zero harm, but how we recognize it and what are the methods to achieve it have changed over the past decade. To simplify it, previously our primary focus was on safety management. We have created the framework for safety management system and implemented procedures to minimize risks and prevent incidents. But as we see today, the focus has shifted towards safety leadership. We are now more focusing to create a culture where health and safety is integrated to everything we do in our operations. Performance indicators are one way to measure safety. In the graph, we can see the increasing number of hazard observations and Take 5 risk assessments, and same time decreasing injury frequency rate. I don't say that there are no connection at all, but the main reason to have this trend is the cultural change. Things need to be measured, but now we are at the point where reaching zero harm, especially in a mindset level, requires something else than looking at the numbers. So our attention has moved from measuring negative outcomes to look at the positive impacts. The focus is to encourage our staff in all levels to share the good safety observations instead of only reporting the hazard observations. We have also changed the management safety walk to management safety talk. In safety talk, our management is communicating and actively listening employees and learning the best safety practices from them. Our second focus is on cultivating our culture rather than allocating efforts to the individual functions. We want to build a global environment where safety has the same meaning. Sharing the common safety culture helps us to reach our targets and makes our global teams working more efficiently. And instead of identifying mistakes, problems, or faults, our focus is on discovering solutions and sharing these solutions with others. We can continuously complain if things are wrong, but the efforts show both to find the solutions to make things right. All in all, it's all about building a collaborative safety culture where everyone has possibility to influence. Even the focus is on positive safety communication and making cultural change, incidents still happens. And of course, we don't want any of our employees to get hurt at work. Last year, we had 11 recordable injuries, and in 4 of these cases, the injuries were severe enough to result in employee absence from work. Each of these cases represent one too many. Taking a closer look at the causes of the cases, it became evident that controls were in place. However, it was often the individual's choice that did not align with the best possible outcome. This study led us to introduce the critical choices concepts, aimed to highlighting the importance of our daily safety-related decisions. The concept revolves around the individual choices we make every day. We all make thousands of decisions and choices each day. and it's natural to make bad decisions or mistakes. Instead of dwelling on those mistakes, we should concentrate on the choices which are critical for our safety. These choices reflect our commitment to placing safety first in our operations. While the categories may appear to be typical safety rules, our true emphasis lies in the choices we make, determining the paths we choose to follow. The concept also underlines how safety is everyone's responsibility, empowering us to make a collective shift. Our commitment to safety extends to our diverse teams, placing psychological safety at the core. We believe that psychological safety is the key to new approaches, learning from experiences, and thriving even in challenging situations. In an environment where psychological safety blossoms, individuals can recover from setbacks and work together to find innovative solutions. We have our in-house psychological safety training program called Torchbearer. In addition to these training sessions, we provide coaching and support to our teams and team leaders, helping them to create a psychologically safe environment where mistakes and diverse perspectives are embraced. Health and safety of our employees is a shared value across all locations. We ensure that every employee has an equal opportunity to influence, contribute ideas, and drive improvements. We are dedicated to promoting an honest and open culture where everyone's voice is heard, providing a firm and sustainable foundation for our safety culture. Global networks are definitely our assets. Our Mining and Rock Solutions EHS lead team meeting brings together safety experts around the world. These gatherings allow participants to share valuable information, best practices, and together plan the direction of health and safety within our company. One of the most significant benefits of these meetings is the opportunity for continuous learning. And that simply requires communication and interaction. Our face-to-face meetings are also a gateway to the cooperation which happens outside of the meetings. Network that you can trust whenever you need support or brainstorming your idea is just a phone call away. The global work environment can also be challenging due to the different cultures, different time zones, and language barriers. However, there are several benefits as well. Diverse perspectives and different ideas are a few of the benefits when building a safety culture. Worldwide collaboration sparks new ideas and brings us together, creating a stronger, united safety culture across the borders. As we observe that occupational safety management has gained solid ground, our attention has shifted towards health and well-being of our employees. In today's world, health and well-being, especially mental well-being, have taken center stage. The complex and unpredictable nature of our environment demands resilience and adopting new ways to work. Rapid changes can lead to increased uncertainty and stress. And it's known that people under pressure are more at risk to accidents and poor decision making. Achieving a strong safety culture goes hand in hand with prioritizing the mental health and well-being of our employees. We understand that a healthy mind is essential for making sound decisions and maintaining focus on safety. Through various initiatives and support systems, like offering mental health programs, flexible work arrangements, and training on mental health awareness, we promote mental well-being as a cornerstone of our safety culture. Technology and digitalization have introduced new risks that were not present before. We must adapt to these changes by supporting new skills and competencies. While we should not overlook physical ergonomics and the significant benefits gained through continuous improvement in our tools, equipment, and work methods, cognitive ergonomics has become even more critical. To support cognitive ergonomics, we are redesigning our work environments, reshaping our processes, and reducing our systems. We aim to clear communication, promote stress relief techniques, and provide trainings to reduce cognitive strain. As technology develops fast, one of our primary focus is to develop the competencies required for new technologies, especially in the field of battery technology and safety. We provide trainings and knowledge sharing, and again, utilizing our global networks. The direction of health and safety is guided by our firm commitment to the well-being of our employees and the sustainability of our operations. As we look ahead, we anticipate a range of future challenges, but also possibilities. In this continuously changing world, our adaptability and resilience within our global networks is our greatest assets. We must remain agile and ready to embrace new opportunities and address emerging challenges. This was our story, which will continue strong and safe. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sini, for a very interesting presentation. I would like to ask you, as you have this global network, what do you see as the biggest challenges and also biggest assets in creating and maintaining global safety culture?
Yeah, actually the challenges are quite same as our strengths. We have diverse teams, we have the technology, which is developing really fast, and the world is changing around us. But we cannot rely on our old ways of working. Sandvik and Lodan whole division are very different today than 20 years or even 10 years ago. The challenge is to have the shared commitment. Cultural changes, of course, takes time, and if the world is changing so rapidly, the question is that how we can stay on board. And we need to focus on the work-life balance and mental well-being, which are on our agenda already. But I would say that many things we are recognizing already, but in the future, we also need to be kind of one step ahead and understand what the future will bring us.
Keeping ahead of the fast-moving changes is a very good aim for all working with safety. Thank you very much, Sini Adamson, for sharing your views. Next, we will take a short break. So time to get up and maybe get a cup of coffee or tea. We will be back soon.
Welcome back. We hope you had a refreshing little break. Let's continue our program. It is my honor to introduce our next speaker, Nanawan Chao. Her presentation takes us to Africa and aligns Vision Zero's objectives and principles with gender-specific approach in the informal sector. Nanawan Chao is the Administrative Director for Eastern, Central and Southern African regions for Commonwealth Women Network, which is a Commonwealth accredited organization recognized by Commonwealth Secretariat and Commonwealth Foundation, with the frame of implementing the Gender Plan Action and Commonwealth Charter. She is the Vice President of Commonwealth Businesswomen Africa, an affiliate of Commonwealth Women Network. The Pan-African Chamber of Commerce recently appointed Nanawan Chao to the head of the Chief Gender Office for Africa. Nanawan Chao, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to all of us as we gather here to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Finnish Vision Zero Forum. I personally look forward to learning from all the experts from around the world as they share life experiences from various workplaces and showcasing the practical application of Vision Zero. And of course, sharing where the challenges still persist, where we still have more work to do. My topic is Vision Zero's objectives and principles, gender-specific approaches in the informal sector, with a focus area on women in Africa. Understandably, this is an area I'm very, very passionate about. The African region is relatively new to the Global Vision Zero initiative. However, several pockets encompassing individual organizations and country-specific programs align well with Vision Zero's objectives and principles of the 7 Golden Rules. The primary goal for the African region is to expand Vision Zero's reach and disseminate concrete outcomes across member countries. The fact that Vision Zero's approach is flexible, it allows one to focus on safety or health or well-being issues depending on what is most relevant in a specific context. The flexibility of Vision Zero makes it very beneficial to be adopted by any organization or government from any part of the continent. Countries like Zambia, Nigeria, Egypt, Morocco, Cote d'Ivoire have to some extent implemented significant social protection reforms, expanding coverage to self-employed and informal sector workers. These include old age and survivor benefits, along with temporary provisions for maternity, sickness, and work-related injuries. However, and I'm sure you agree, there's still a lot to do, especially around gender-specific solutions for women in the informal sectors in Africa. Commonwealth Businesswomen Africa is a member of Commonwealth Women Network. Our work contributes to the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. In particular, SDG 3, Good Health and Well-being, SDG 5, Gender Equality, SDG 8, Decent Work and Economic Growth, and SDG 17, Partnerships for the Goals. We have a mandate to economically and socially empower women in the informal sectors in Africa. We have various business development tools and programs to effect this. However, we learned through experience that social challenges at the women's workplace became a barrier to their economic success. Strategic partnerships and collaborative efforts with partners like MEDER and IOSH have helped us put together a holistic solution towards economic and social empowerment for the women in the informal workplaces, which with a specific focus on addressing the health, safety, and well-being challenges that affect them in their workplaces. I will share with you one example where this partnership is already succeeding. However, it's still work in progress. We've not yet overcome all the challenges. As Commonwealth Businesswomen Africa, we work with women in the fisheries industry in Kenya. They are called fishmongers, or what you would call hawkers. Typically, the fishermen own the fishing boats and they go out at night to fish. At dawn, when the fishermen dock at shore, loaded with the catch of the previous night, the women from the fresh fish markets are waiting to buy the fish. The fisherman at this point has the power to decide which woman will get the fish and which woman will go home empty-handed. Meaning, for this woman, she's unable to earn that day. At this point, we learned of the practice called sex for fish trade. This is clearly sexual exploitation and abuse against the women, which is happening in their workplaces. This exploitation has led to mental health issues such as stress, anxiety, depression, loss of self-esteem and self-dignity, and even suicide. Commonwealth Businesswomen Africa is working at preventing gender-based harassment and discrimination. Vision Zero's principles of respect, dignity, and equity emphasize the importance of preventing all forms of harassment and discrimination, including those that are based on gender. We are on a mission to turn the fishmongers, these women, into business owners. They must own the boats and the cages as an organized, legally registered group or association so that they take the power back. Together with our partners, this project is already underway. Another area we are addressing safety, health, and well-being is the fresh fish market workplace. 1 in 2 women are nursing a bronchial-related complication in one extent or another. This is because they spend every day, morning to evening, handling wet fish in ice with no protective gear, no gloves, no boots, no warm clothing. We also see frequent occurrences of eye injuries recurring from scaling the fish without protective goggles for the eyes. There is a second category of fishmongers. These are the women who decide to fry the fish instead of selling it fresh. They do so under very, very dangerous conditions. The workplace environment they work in, which is basically the kitchen, is engulfed in thick clouds of dark smoke This dark smoke comes from the huge hot fires that are constantly boiling thick black oil in huge open pans. As they throw in the fresh fish into the boiling oil, the oil splatters and the vapor rises into their eyes. In about a year or so, this woman starts experiencing deteriorating eyesight. And that is the beginning of the end of her economic independence. This woman needs her business to keep running. It's her livelihood. It's how she supports her family. However, she should not be going blind in her workplace. That's not all. In this dangerous and hazardous environment, women come with their children, their babies, because they cannot afford a daycare center service. Recognizing the different roles and responsibilities that women often have outside of work, Vision Zero can support policies that promote work-life balance, acknowledging the challenges that gender-specific responsibilities might present. Example, working with local partners to provide affordable childcare centers with breastfeeding stations is a very simple and health and safety intervention. Or providing alternative income generating solutions for these women, like turning fish skin, which is currently treated as waste, by the way, into fish leather. Fish leather is now being used widely in the circles of sustainable fashion in Europe and the US. It's used for handbags, for belts, for shoes, and other high-end fashion accessories. We are very excited about this opportunity. Vision Zero expresses the belief that every accident, disease, or injury at work can be prevented if the safety, health, and well-being of people comes first. We believe with the right partners, this can be achieved. It is very clear for Commonwealth businesswomen Africa that solutions to these many challenges will need collaborative efforts and partnerships from multiple stakeholders. A partnership with IOSH, as an example, offers occupational safety and health interventions that give a holistic mindset for prevention, which is built on the common desire to promote and establish a global prevention culture, promoting safety, health, and well-being at the informal workplace. What this means for the women in the informal workplaces is that their economic independence can be sustainable. Going forward, we highly recommend promoting leadership diversity. Leadership commitment to safety is a core principle of Vision Zero. Promoting gender diversity in leadership positions helps ensure that a variety of perspectives are considered when making safety-related gender-focused decisions. The disproportionate presence of men in decision-making positions perpetuates gender inequalities within the OSH domain, neglecting the needs of working women, especially those in the informal workplaces. We need more women at policy level to address issues unique to women's health and safety, especially the women in the informal workplaces. When looking at gender, here are some positive elements that could be considered for a sustainable and resilient future workplace. In brief, gender-sensitive risk assessment, inclusive training and education, inclusive communication, supporting health and well-being in a local context. If I take an example of the women in the fisheries industry, contextualized solution to their health needs would look something like a mobile clinic with qualified staff to do health checks regularly, provide maternity care, issue referrals for escalated cases. All this done at source. This is very critical. This tailored solution means the women do not have to leave their fish stores unattended for long periods of time. Because a day for this woman spent at the overcrowded hospitals is a day this woman does not earn. And it means it's a day this woman has no meal at the table for her family. This anguish and despair is the beginning of mental health issues. Finally, is gender disaggregated data collection. Vision Zero's initiative should collect, analyze, and use data that is disaggregated by gender to identify specific patterns, risks, vulnerabilities faced by women in the informal workplaces in Africa. We do understand as Commonwealth Business Women Africa that the integration of gender considerations into informal workplace safety is an ongoing process that requires continuous evaluation and adaptation. The approach varies based on cultural, social, and legal contexts in different regions. I close with a call to action on SDG 17, Partnerships for the Goals. Opportunities for collaborative efforts and partnerships to implement safety, health, and well-being programs for women in workplaces in Africa are available widely. Sierra Leone, women in agribusiness being exposed to hazardous chemicals, causing havoc in the maternity and delivery of the babies. Lesotho, safety, health, and well-being interventions are needed in the beekeeping and harvesting programs. In Kenya, Nigeria, and Tanzania, women in the quarry and mining industries are experiencing respiratory health problems. They're experiencing noise-induced hearing loss and lack of access to healthcare. In Ghana, women in the shea butter processing who often work in hot, humid conditions, which can lead to heat-related illnesses like exhaustion, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. South Africa, the president declared gender-based violence a pandemic. That's a call for help right there. Partner with us. Partner with Commonwealth Business Women Africa, and let's stop gender-based violence in workplaces. The need indeed is great. However, The ripple effects and benefits of implementing safety, health, and well-being practices into the informal workplaces is greater. It directly impacts the continent's GDP. The International ILO organization states that almost 90% of employed women are in the informal employment, in contrast to 82% of men in Africa. And in 2010, the share of informal sector, which includes agriculture, the share of informal sector contribution to GDP of the continent was 55%. It therefore makes economic sense to ensure occupational safety, health, and well-being practices are culturalized into the informal workplaces in Africa. I have just proved to you that there is no shortage of impactful engagements and collaborative partnership opportunities to build sustainable and resilient workplaces in Africa with the women of Africa. The Tokyo Declaration on Vision Zero says for all. You and me must ensure that Vision Zero reaches all. I am Nana Wanjau, Vice President of Commonwealth Business Women Africa, a member of Commonwealth Women Network. Thank you, and we welcome your partnership.
Thank you, Nana Wanjau, for your thought-provoking and practice-oriented presentation. I would like to ask you, what kind of solution-based partnerships do you think could offer sustainable solutions for this case study?
It's definitely going to take collaborative efforts from multiple stakeholders, governments, civil society, community leaders, business communities, the private sector, all having to collaborate and deliberately focus on engaging in economic and social empowerment in the communities they conduct businesses in. Examples like providing insurance coverage for the women, protective gear, better environment-friendly kitchens using clean energy, running clean, sustainable water supply, new markets, microfinancing, supporting local industries like Fadili Dada, who are making biodegradable sanitary products for the women in the informal sector. The list is endless, and the opportunities for service and to partner are there. Thank you.
Moving from one continent to another, we would like to warmly welcome Mr. Indo, Research Fellow for Institute of Technology in Shimizu Corporation. He has an extensive career in engineering and construction and has, in example, been involved in Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant Unit 1 cover construction. This afternoon, he will tell us about collaboratively working robots in construction sites and safety.
Hello, everyone. It is a good honor to be given this opportunity to present here. Today, I would like to talk about the development of collaboratively working robots for construction site and their implementation at the actual construction site with about safety. Before start that, I will introduce the new facility. This is Novare, because I come from Novare. This is the latest my job. This is the Innovation Center of Shimizu Corporation, just 5 kilometers from Tokyo. It's very convenient for the open innovation. It will open in early next year, but we start to use in this month. It consists of academy and a hub and the archivist and a Novare lab. So our robotics will be organized here from next year. Okay, the profile of our company I will explain first. Our company established in 1804 by Kisuke Shimizu. He looked like a samurai, but he's just carpenter, Meister carpenter. In 2020, our sales were $13.4 billion. We are the 26th largest contractor with over 10,000 employees. Below the photo is all our buildings we built. And the latest one is right side, the Toranomon Zabudai project near Tokyo Tower. The height will be more than 300 meters, one of the tallest building in Japan. And I will explain about the construction industry circumstances. The economic bubble burst in 1992. The demand for the construction industry lowered down until 2011, about half. And now recovered to already 67. This is 450 billion US dollar. We compare with the demand with 2002, the demand is same, but we have to focus on the worker number. Skilled worker number is last time 2002 was 4 million. Now the worker reduced almost 3 million. That is a big problem. This subject is aging of skilled workers and the shortage of workers. And also we start the law about the upper limit for overtime from next year. I also have to explain about the workers' wage ratio over 55 years old from 22% to 35.9%. The young people 20% lower down until 11.7. This is much lesser than ordinary industry, other industries. And also the action by the government started from 15, a new robot strategy, and the 19th, social change by robots, and the robot friendly start from 20s. Okay. And the history of robotics development start from almost 40 years ago with throwing robot, sealing robot, fireproofing robot, welding robot, etc. Okay. And we say this is the first wave of robotics. And now after that, almost 20 years, we have no action about robotics, but we restarted from 14 with collaboration with Tokyo University and the ETH Zurich. We say this is the second wave of robotics. The next one, we say the robotization target. So we start the development of the robotics from 2016. But before we start this one, we have to focus which kind of robot we will develop. So we check about the worker ratio from 2007 to 2017. This is the process of the construction from retaining wall, excavation, foundation structure, external finish, M&D, and finishing. So compare with this 10 years, retaining wall is the same, but the superstructure reduce the ratio of the workers, and the external finish M&D increase. The finishing work also increase. So which part is more effective and more sustainable for industry? So we discussed with the site people so many times. Then we confirmed that transportation robot is physically very hard. And the next one is welding robot. This is very hard and very difficult work. And nobody want to join this kind of work. And third one is manual work for external work, finishing work, and M&D finishing work. And starting time only these three kinds of robot, but 2019 additional requirement from come from construction site spray local. This is fire resisting material. Actually, the robot, we have many kinds. R1 to R5, assist robot, master slave robot, a single robot, multi-robot, collaboration robot. So we develop these kind of many robots. But today I will focus on very clever robots for this robot carrier, robot body, and the welding robots. Okay, so finally, we focus on these robots, 4 robots, robot carrier, and the robot welder, and the robot body for sealing and for floor. And the right side up, you see robot spray after 3 years. These robots move and sense and think and cooperate each other. And the very characteristic point is all the work is controlled by the robot master cloud. And the best thing, good thing is we need not to make a very complicated matter or complicated, difficult knowledge. We just have the iPad and all the robot will move together, cooperated under the command from robot master. This robot master cloud can move the robot in more than 400 construction sites and more than 8,000 robots in the world. Talking about the Japan's law for the industrial safety and the health regulation, basic policy is to separate the worker and the robot with a fence, railing, or enclosure. But for the spread of industrial robot, recent technological advance and labor shortage, this one revised in 2013. If we make a risk assessment with some functions, we need no longer separation or safety fences. This is a list of the law or standard that make related to the robotics under our development. This is the table, modified table, quoted from the National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology website. Robots have 2 categories. One is industrial robot and the service robot. And also we have to think about the design stage and the user stage. So we classify about our JIS Japanese standard on ISO in these categories. Of course, our robots belong to industrial robot. So I will start to talk about the robot carrier. This is a transportation robot. Left side is manual work. In conventional situation, 5 to 6 workers work on the side. This is the above floor. Taking the plasterboard 1 ton, bring to this floor. This one, of course, comes from the ground floor. And also we have to use the temporary elevator. So replacing this one, our autonomous transportation system is on the ground floor. 1 robot is moving. And this one passed to the elevator. Elevator go up. This elevator is also robot, and the top part, another robot is taken out and then delivery. The instructions is very simple from the starting point to delivery point. Okay. So this is the latest use case in the Torano Mazabudai. Just I say that come to be a tallest building in Japan. There are 12 pallets on the basement floor at the evening. So the material put into the cage of the elevator. this one up to the 41st story, the very high above the ground. So this day, 12 pallet will going up. So to make it faster, 2 robots is waiting at the 41st story. Sorry, this is very fast for the time save for today. So this is 9, 10, and 11, 12. Just finished after 1 hour. Then the fork operator will go home. Then after that, overtime will be done by the robots. Another 1 hour, these robots in the upper floor, 41st floor, bring the material to the actual position for the next day for the worker. Okay. So this one come to be a much better condition, give the much better condition for workers. And we can open the temporary stock area for next day. Okay. Okay, for the safety, we already separated the people with robot by the time, because all the workers go home and this one proceeded at the time. Even also with Toronto Mazab, the tallest building, and also this is a commercial building, same. But also for the double safety risk item, we check for the opening on the floor, a step on the floor edge, and the material, and also paddle on the floor, cable on the floor, etc. Bump on the front. Our policy, I already explained about the follow the AGV system, and also we follow the elevator section, safety and health law. And about the assessment, safety assessment, risk assessment, we did it for the AGV hit workers, AGV fall into opening, load collapse. So we provide obstacle sensors and floor step sensors, slope sensors, etc. Shown by blue color. Also for the elevator cage, obstacle in the shaft hit the cage, and also emergency stop switch cannot be pressed, or unrelated workers get on board, or object people in the door position hit the people or hit the material. So install monitor camera, operation mode indicator, and the area sensor, etc. We make additional facility. And also for the door area, door on the elevator open, and there is something remain, or close, and the robot will be hit the door, something like that. So we install another floor step sensor, obstacle sensors, or area sensor. So this chart shows the how we make a double safety for avoiding the risk for we taken up with the risk assessment. So blue one is additional one, and for the regulation we already installed this white one. And also we use steel facilities for the server and drivers, etc. Also, we establish the training system, and also we have internal rule. So we started this system from 2020. Already 68 persons completed and graduated by this system. We check about ISO 3691. We deal with it. The blue one is we check something is not possible, but we take other action to avoid it. And also, next application for the robotics for double safety is the recognition of persons. But also we have to fight with the cost of the robots. So we discuss with the site people. Okay. The next robot is a robot welder. We have three types, bracket type, ring type, and another one is pivot type. This robot will recognize the gap between steel to steel, like this. Here, the column top part and the bottom part have a gap. We weld here. We scan the gap shape, and the robot will consider and autonomously take the position and also direction, speed, and angle of the torch. This is a photo of the ring type in Osaka University case. And this is the bracket type in Kitakami project. Two robots work together for the productivity. You can see the two robots together working because we have to take a good merit for the productivity at the site. One person attend and the two robots move together is very good performance, making good performance. And this is the result of our inspection that from first column to 21st column, the defect is only one. The defect rate is only half of skilled workers. So the robot come to be better than human skilled worker. So in this part also we have to be conscious about the safety. We have to control the robot from outside of the cage, outside of the screen. So we have emergency button and the start button here, push from outside like this. And third one is robot body. So sealing board installation by worker is this. So he is on the scaffold and marking himself and lift up the board himself, and he will take the screw and fix it by the drill. Okay. So before go to the next page, I will explain about the floor robot also. Floor robot check the stem height first and fix it. Use the adhesive. This is the adhesive. And push it on the floor. And after that, set the panel. So these two kinds of robot I will introduce by the video. This is the whole shape of the robot, and this is the specification. So please take a look. This one also we did it 3 months ago at the Okinawa, the hospital site. The robot will autonomously move to the next position with a material bringing robot. We say assist robot and the worker robot work together. So this is the ordinary workers style. Conventional style is here. Here, the worker is on the scaffold and bring themselves. So replace to this style of working by the robot. This one, last time I show you, but this one is raised floor robots. So we separate from by this barricade, but actually this robot cannot come this area because there are steps between robots and here by the 100 millimeter. Cannot land onto this floor after he proceeded. So robot cannot do the perimeter area. So workers still have to fill up this perimeter area. Workers say that this is very good for workers to make their skill remain. This is the workers' work, skilled workers' work still there. So collaboration work with robot is more common in future. Okay, so in this case also, we just make no entry barricade. This robot area cannot come into by other workers. Okay? So I will explain other category of robots under digital fabrication. This is a very new part. So first I explain about the three-dimensional printing. So this is the 3D printing. So actual movement is very, very slow. So it's very safe action. This is the huge scale wall. In Novare, the new innovation center, the wall. Length of the wall is 20 meters. The thickness of the wall is 1 meter. The height is 4 meters. After install the reinforcement bar, surrounded the wall, printed by this printer, Goliath type printer. Okay, so I will summarize this kind of action. Robot carrier, we apply this one for high-rise and horizontal large project. So we start to use, as I show in the video, in the large scale horizontal site at Tokorozawa. And now in Tokyo, high-rise building starting. So we apply this one maybe next month. And the robot welder, if the layer is too small, the effect is not so much. So more than 40 to 55 millimeter joint on site, apply more than 2 robots in large project. Robot body for the floor, OA floor, also expand the application in large scale site. And also we don't want to close our technical knowledge and development in our company. We spread all this kind of work. And also RX Consortium, this is action in construction industry in Japan, now joined more than 200 companies, develop together and use it together. So make it more effective in the industry for labor issue. So work for cost down and more for the safety, about the safety. And good practice in collaboration with robot make human happy. This is my policy, our policy. Reduce dangerous work, painful work. The more holidays for people, more wage, and more diversity. This is the schedule for usage of the robots. So 2023, this year, so many, and the next year, more. So more application makes more good work environment for the workers. And also we have to say that promoting SDGs by using robot is huge. Finger tapping operation makes gender equality, and simple and repeated work by the robot is leave them decent work and economic growth. Skill work, technical work still give the job satisfaction for the skilled workers. and enhance corporate value and enhance industry value. And the human activity base expand role for robots, quality of life better, and charge renewable energy and make it sustainable in future, etc. So partnership action started in industry also. So I say second wave of robotization is just started in these maybe 3 years, 4 years. This wave we will not stop. Last time the first wave has stopped because the technology is not so enough, but the progress of the digital material and the digital software is very good. So a robot will remain in this time. So robot will make human happy. So this one for Vision SDGs, we say. And there are still many challenges about robots. And all these issues will dissolve during usage. So we should use as many as we can. And the application of robot is expanding so much. So we will use with caution and establish safety in collaborative work in construction site. So finally, our future is with robots. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Indo, for providing this view of the future on robotics and safety. As the final part of today's program, we will have a panel discussion. My colleague Riikka will lead the panel consisting of some members of the task group Vision Zero, which introduces the Vision Zero concept globally to workplaces, organizations and actors. The task group brings actors together and fosters exchange of knowledge, ideas and learning together. The task group Vision Zero is one of the task group Global Coalition on Occupational Safety and Health. Please read. The screen is yours.
Thank you. Our 6 panelists are members in the task group Vision Zero, which is one of the task groups of the Global Coalition on Occupational Safety and Health at Work. The task group has been collaborating around the theme of Vision Zero for a few years now. So it's very interesting to hear about their experiences and insights today. So let me start with short introductions. First, I welcome Bernd Reichel. Bernd works as a senior prevention expert at the International Social Security Association, ISSA. He is also a member of the International Organizing Committee of the World Congress on Safety and Health at Work and manages the Vision Zero strategy at the ISSA in Geneva. Welcome, Bernd.
Yes, hello. Thank you for having me. My name is Bernd Reichel. I'm the Senior Prevention Specialist. As you said, at the ISSA, we've developed a Vision Zero approach. We started that in 2017. It has spread, I would say, like wildfire. There are many, many actors involved. And so it's not only ISSA, but it's really all the people who are here today and many, many more who are carrying this Vision Zero project and this strategy.
Okay, welcome, Bernd. Also joining the discussion, I welcome Oke Tupper. He is the Global Program Manager of the Vision Zero Fund at the International Labour Organization, ILO, in Geneva, Switzerland. Great to have you here, Oke.
Thank you so much, Rika, and really nice to see all the colleagues from the task group on the panel. Looking forward to the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Our third expert is Dr. Fujita. He's a director of the Institute of Global Safety Promotion. He played a pivotal role in the Vision Zero Summit Japan 2022. He is also vice chair of the Executive Committee for the Global Initiative for Safety, Health and Wellbeing at Expo 2025 and beyond. Welcome to join the discussion, Dr. Fujita.
Thank you very much for your kind introduction. I'm very happy to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next panelist is Alan Stevens. he has held a position of Head of Strategic Engagement at the Institution of Occupational Safety and Health, IOS, for the past 5 years, and he has been responsible for developing and leading to IOS's global collaborative activities to drive a safe and healthy world of work. Great to have you here today, Alan.
Great to be part of this exciting panel, Rika. Thanks for letting me join today.
Thank you. And our fifth panelist is Dietmar Elsler. At present, he is working as a senior research project manager at the European Agency for Safety and Health at Work in Bilbao in Spain. He is responsible for project on supporting compliance, Vision Zero, and economic aspect of occupational safety. He also coordinates the Good Practice Exchange Program for EU as a campaign partners. Welcome, Dietmar.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rika, for this kind invitation. Very happy to see the friends from the panel again. And yeah, I'm happy to contribute from the European Union perspective, as we have also now the Vision Zero approach in the European strategic framework. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We are very looking forward to hear about that more. Welcome, Dietmar. And also Tommi Alanko is joining the discussion. As introduced earlier, Tommi is Director of Occupational Safety Unit here at the Finnish Institute of Occupational Health. He is also an active member in this task group and has led the task group work since 2020. Welcome, Tommi, to join the discussion here.
Thank you, Rika. Great to be here.
Yes, but let's start the discussion. And the first question simply is, from which perspective you approach Vision Zero in your work, and how would you capture the core of the Vision Zero in your work and in your institute? So let's move on and have the first answer from Bernd, please.
Yes, how to approach Vision Zero? Well, it's based on 3 pillars: safety, health, and well-being. At least the Vision Zero that the ESA is promoting has this as a key component. We have 7 golden rules. It goes from leadership all the way to participation of people. There are technical aspects of risk assessment. And by following these 7 golden rules, you can, I would say, easily implement it at a company level. There are tools, guides, checklists, benchmarking tools as well. It's all free of charge, available on our website, visionzero.global. And this is for companies, but it doesn't stop there. There is also a national approach. Dietmar had mentioned it. There's an EU strategy. So countries have also set targets, for example, and want to reduce the accident frequency rates. Luxembourg, for example, has already managed to reduce it by 15%, and they're targeting 20% of reduction. So there are many, many ways of reducing accidents. And for us, for me, the objective of Vision Zero is to bring these numbers down.
Thank you, Bernd. It's really interesting to hear about the practice-oriented way the ESA is taking this Vision Zero approach forward. How about you, Okkert? What are you doing at the moment in Vision Zero Fund?
Thank you, Rika. Yes, I mean, you can see encapsulated in our name is this Vision Zero concept, the Vision Zero Fund, which I manage, and I guess that was also forefront in the minds of the G7 when they established the fund in 2015. We really are working in supply chains. That's the focus of our work. So our Vision Zero is aimed at improving or at least reducing accidents, diseases, and injuries in global supply chains. And we know supply chains can have a very positive impact on economic growth and on job opportunities, but that we also know that it comes with particular challenges related to decent work, which is really why the fund promotes this idea of Vision Zero in least developed and low-income countries, where we know there are the biggest problems in many ways and where we can make the biggest impact. And I think when we think about Vision Zero, this aspirational goal of getting to zero, it's important to also note the challenge that we are dealing with here. I think the latest figures, I think people are probably aware of these, but it's worth mentioning again, the estimates from the ILO and WHO, the latest, is that 7,500 people die every day because of their work, 6,500 from occupational diseases, 1,000 from occupational accidents. That's 300 a day, 5 every minute. So, because of their work. So I guess by the end of our short panel here, 35 minutes, 175 people would have died because of their work. So that's the scale of the problem. And this is, of course, why we're together in this task group to try to get to that point where we can say we are really making a meaningful impact on getting these numbers down. And then finally, just to say that these numbers that I've just mentioned are not equally distributed around the world. We know that estimates are that 75% of occupational fatalities occur in Africa and in Asia, which is where the Vision Zero Fund has a lot of its project work. So very quickly, just about how we approach it. We approach this through a collective action lens. So we believe that stakeholders need to get together to address this issue. It's not the responsibility of one stakeholder alone. And then secondly, when we work at our country level in our projects, we work at both the workplace level to improve occupational safety and health, bipartite OSH committees, establishing OSH management systems, but we also work at the institutional and policy level because we think these two are linked. And if you want to sustain the improvements at the workplace level, you also need to make sure that there are good institutions, strong institutions, good laws, and robust enforcement of those laws. So that's in a nutshell how we approach the Vision Zero Fund concept.
Thank you, Ogret. Thank you for addressing this very important message and addressing also those initiatives that you are working with. Let's move to Japan. Dr. Fujita, what are you now working on with the Vision Zero approach in Japan?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate your 20th anniversary. Your organization has made a significant contribution around the world, including in Japan. Because time is limited today, I'd like to talk about your activity, how contributed to workplaces around the world. 5 years ago, IGSAP had the pleasure of having Dr. Alanko and Ms. Tina Mori to visit Japan. We had a factory tour of Fanuc, which is the #1 robot manufacturer near Mount Fuji, and also Nippo, which is a road construction company, and they use artificial intelligence camera to eliminate accident. We also went to a tunnel construction site of Shimizu Corporation, and we observed the well-organized toolbox meeting early in the morning at 7 a.m. Dr. Alanko and Ms. Moni also made great presentation at the GSHR about the Finnish Vision Zero Forum. They influenced Japan a great deal, and we had a very good opportunity to exchange information and learn from each other. After the great success of the first Vision Zero Summit, the second Vision Zero Summit was held in Japan, organized by the Global Coalition together with all the members here. The summit that sprouted in Finland gives us a glimpse of its future progress, and I'm proud that Japan has been able to contribute to it. Thanks to the contribution by many people, we had holistic, multi-dimensional dimensions about the Vision Zero potential. I was inspired by many people, and I felt that Vision Zero is continuing to develop. At the summit, Tokyo Declaration on Vision Zero for All was issued to further develop the beneficiaries of Vision Zero. From my perspective, Vision Zero has no destination. It is about constantly learning from many people and mutually inspiring each other to strive for an even higher level. So this is my understanding. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fujita. It's always very inspiring to hear about your outstanding work with the Vision Zero approach. And how about you, Alan Stevens? What are you working now?
Yeah, I think Vision Zero sits at the heart of everything we do. We believe in a safe and healthy world of work, and it shouldn't matter where you live, whether it's in Finland, the UK, in Ghana, in Bangladesh. People have the right to go home safe and healthy with a great sense of well-being every day. So the beauty of the Vision Zero approach, and we're blessed to work alongside all the people on this call. You know, when we're working with Ockert in the supply chains in the emerging economies of Africa, at the moment we're working with the shea butter farmers, for example, who have really difficult conditions, and we're working with the local ILO office to improve the work there. And equally with some of these hard to reach communities, or with some of the big corporations that we work with, the 7 golden rules are such beautiful principles because they apply wherever we work. And we see it just as Dr. Fujita-san has just said, is that it's like a journey, not a destination. Every day, every manager, every worker going to work thinking, is the decision I'm about to make taking me away from harm or towards harm? You know, can I train people to help them move away from harm? Can we adjust processes to move people away from harm? It's that mindset that every day, everybody going to work thinks about this as this journey that everybody's on, not just the OSH professional. Every worker, every manager can work together to make sure that people do go home safe and healthy, because that's all people want to do in the world. They want to raise their kids, they want to keep them in school, they want to build a little bit of prosperity and get through the week. And occupational safety and health has such a big impact on all of this. It keeps kids in school. It keeps healthcare systems focused on things that can't be prevented. We have this really important role in society to free up capacity and potential through prevention. So it's an exciting moment, and Vision Zero sits right in the heart of everything we do.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you so much for opening this really important core of Vision Zero, which we certainly all can agree with. Let's move to Dietmar about the European perspective to Vision Zero approach. What's now currently taking place there, please?
Yeah, thank you. As mentioned, we have Vision Zero, the Vision Zero approach now in the EU strategic framework on safety and health at work. And there are, let's say, 3 focus areas, let's say, where we focus on the Vision Zero approach. So first is we have to improve the data collection. I mean, Ockert already mentioned that ILO and WHO are really good in contributing to this. What are the worldwide figures for accidents and occupational diseases? And the question is now how to address this, how to break that down, how to find the root causes of these accidents and diseases, and then to address them. For example, the main cause for work-related fatalities is still work-related cancer in the European Union, for example. And then we have made a campaign on dangerous substances, no? Or the second largest, let's say, contributor to occupational diseases is musculoskeletal disorders and and cardiovascular disorders. So we have to address these main causes, and then also to help the enterprises with the how to comply to health and safety. And therefore we have a program which is called Supporting the Compliance of Enterprises, of Organizations, especially smaller enterprises, and that we are doing via the supply chain. For example, we have a huge project how we can strengthen health and safety via the supply chain, for example, in construction and agriculture. And we also strengthen the exchange of the labor inspectorates. I think the labor inspectorates, they play a key role worldwide, and in Europe, for example, they are organized in the SLIC, Senior Labor Inspectors Committee, and where we stimulate, where we facilitate the exchange of good practices between member states to have this process of mutual learning and to implement this Vision Zero approach at European level. Thank you.
Thank you, Dietmar. As we can see, there is a lot of activities and initiatives going on around the world, and it's just amazing to hear about all of these. And indeed, your comments covered many sides of the Vision Zero approach and explaining the heart of the concept. Now I would like to ask you, Tommi, about the figure which is shown here now. In this figure, you have illustrated Vision Zero at work as a multi-perspective approach and concept. Could you briefly describe the origin of this illustration, please?
Yes, thank you. I think this picture was presented first time in 2019 on Working on Safety International Conference in a presentation about how to introduce the Vision Zero concept to workplaces. This was just before the first Vision Summit that we organized with the task group and Finnish Institute of Occupational Health. And I think that this picture actually, this multidimensionality, very well described the different aspects of Vision Zero that were presented in the summit. The origin of the idea for this illustration came from the very good cooperation that we had even before the official beginning of our task group's work and collaboration. We had then, and also now, several organizations that had and have similar goals and thoughts about improving occupational safety, health, and well-being with the concept of Vision Zero. But of course, different organizations have a little bit different emphasis and approaches and how things are worded. We understood that we are working with the same concept and that we have the same goals, even though sometimes we use different words, methods, or stress different aspects in the application and on target activities. This picture was made to visualize the multidimensional nature of Vision Zero, kind of underlying that in workplaces there can be different safety programs with different names, but they are still part of Vision Zero approach. And how you perceive and understand Vision Zero depends where you are looking from. And the hope was that looking at this picture and different perspectives, it would make collaboration and sharing best practices easier between different actors.
Yeah, and I guess this task group work is all about that we are under the same umbrella, still working with our own focus areas and with the tools that we are all developing and initiatives creating. Thank you for really opening up this area of Vision Zero approach. The next question I would like to ask you, based on your work and the next steps that you are taking there, about the future of Vision Zero approach. How do you see that? What will happen in future? Ockert, how about you and in Vision Zero Fund?
Yeah, thank you, Rika. And I think the future is in some ways bright. I think, Tommi just mentioned again the task group of the Global Coalition, and I think he's done a remarkable job in bringing us all together on a regular basis to discuss, to exchange. I think we're all working in this Vision Zero concept, and I think we've all, in some ways been working a little bit in silos. And I think what Tommi has done is, in this task group, is really to bring us together to have this really rich conversation. So I think the future is bright, but a little bit more from the perspective of the fund. We're currently developing our new 5-year strategy, and we're using the slogan kind of continuity and change. So we will continue to do what we know works. I mentioned some of it earlier, but we're also trying to identify a number of areas where we need to really focus in the next 5 years. And let me mention just 3 of those. One, and a very important area of work for the fund in the next 5 years will be on the link between occupational safety and health and climate change. We received the mandate from the G7 last year when they re-endorsed us to work a lot more on that link. And I think that's a really important work that we will be focusing on. We're already implementing 3 pilot projects in Vietnam, Madagascar, and Mexico. And in particular in Mexico, we're doing a very detailed study and analysis and implementing adaptation measures on heat stress in agriculture, which I think is an important topic. And just to say for the audience, there was a recent study, and it's not only about the health and safety of workers, which is of course our primary purpose for getting together and talking about this, it's also about the kind of economic impact I think that climate change will have. And I think there's a recent study for those who are interested. It was done by Cornell's Global Labor Institute, and it estimates that the 4 countries that they looked only at the apparel and textiles, but Bangladesh, Pakistan, Cambodia, Vietnam, that they risk losing, let me read the number, $65 billion in export earnings and 1 million potential jobs by 2030 if everybody continues with business as usual. So I think climate change is really an important area. Secondly, very quickly, we will continue to promote the fundamental principles and rights at work. And of course, as you all know, the ILO took this historic decision last year to declare occupational safety and health to be a fundamental principle and right at work. So that's really important work that we need to do, because it means that every country, even if they have not ratified these conventions, have to promote respect and uphold the principles. So a lot of our work in the fund will go towards helping countries to ratify and implement these conventions. And then finally, we work with the private sector quite a lot. I think it's important for us to strengthen that link to the private sector. We know the private sector has knowledge, they have leverage, they have power, they have influence, and we really need to work a lot more closely with multinationals. We do already work with them. They're representatives at country level, very fruitful collaboration. We're also fortunate that a number of companies have already joined the fund as formal donors, and that list is growing. So I think for us, it's very important to also bring to the table under our collective action model, the multinationals, because I think they play a very important role. So thank you.
Thank you, Ogret. Thank you for describing the strategical lines that you are working on. How about Dr. Fujita? You are planning also big happenings in Japan. Could you please tell about those?
As you can see in the Vision Zero's journey in this slide, the concept of Vision Zero, which was planted in 2014, has been evolving. And we are now in the most critical timing between 2014 and 2030, the target year of SDGs. After the Vision Zero Summit in Japan, the global initiative for safety, health, and well-being at the Expo and beyond was established and launched in Bilbao, Spain, and we will have a big exhibition, World Assembly, and the symposium at Expo 2025 in Osaka, Japan in July 2025 to raise awareness of the importance of Vision Zero. Expo is a perfect opportunity to inform the importance of safety, health, and well-being to the global citizens. The message of Expo 2025, Designing the Future Society for Our Lives, is perfectly in line with the philosophy of Vision Zero, which is advocated by many organizations, as you can see here. So thanks to your Finnish Vision Zero Forum, the message of Vision Zero is spreading into the world. I hope that our good relationship and friendship continued further. So let us continue close communication, and I hope your Finnish Vision Zero Forum spreads your message and philosophy at the Expo. Please visit us in Osaka. There is a lot for you to enjoy in Osaka, where you can enjoy good food, entertainment, and very friendly people. Let us develop mutual exchange further. Thank you, and see you in Osaka at Expo in July 2025.
Thank you, Dr. Fujita. Thank you for your invitation to Osaka, and all the best for the important, outstanding work that you are doing there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dietmar, how about your outlook to the future, please?
Yes, thank you. So I think what we are doing here is this process, this stimulation of mutual learning, so that member states, the countries learn from each other, but also the single organizations, as mentioned by Okot, the multinational organizations. And in this way, this your Zero Accident Fund forum has been a very good model for us at the European Agency, because we followed your model with our campaign partners. So we have a good practice exchange between our campaign partners, where there are several multinational companies and also professional organizations. So we have a lot of campaign partners doing this good practice exchange along with our campaigns. Our latest campaign just will kick off in October now. It's about digitalization, where we address the new challenges at work due to artificial technology, for example, new forms at work, like platform work, automatization, which brings a lot of benefits to the workers. Now we have less workload with strain, musculoskeletal disorders, but on the other hand, it can bring, for example, higher psychosocial workload, more stress. You feel controlled by artificial intelligence, by algorithmic management. So we have to discuss here the costs and benefits of these interventions, but also the economic benefit. And I think that is also to convince the enterprises to do more for health and safety. That's good for them, that increases productivity, that increases motivation of workers. So this is really a key issue. And as mentioned also, this link to sustainability, as we are having also several initiatives at European level, like the European Green Deal or new legislation on due diligence, where our European enterprises have to take responsibility for their supply chain, that they are responsible dealing with their supply chain. So it's really, we are taking initiatives in that, and also at the European Agency, we have upcoming projects on climate change. So there is not only in agriculture or construction, you could think, where accidents are increasing due to heat, but also in office work, because there was a recent study from Switzerland, very interesting, that in all professions, accidents increase, because even if it reduces your well sleep, for example. So even office workers have more accidents because of heat. So you can see this very nicely in this Swiss study, and also the huge economic burden you have to because of increased accidents, and then you have lower productivity and lower higher sick leave because of this. So this is all interconnected, and I think that we have a good approach now with the challenges which are green, the sustainability. We have the new digitalization coming up, and also the demographic changes. We have in Europe, we have an aging population on the one hand, so we have adapt our workplaces that people can work longer. On the other hand, we have a lot of migrant workers. We have to integrate them into the workplace. They have different languages, different cultures, and this is also a challenge we have to discuss in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Disma. Really good to hear about those clear steps and specific projects that are already taking place. Thank you. How about you, Bernd? What is your view on future there at the ISA?
Well, the future is now. It's all happening in this very moment. We are very close to the World Congress in Sydney. It's from the 27th to the 30th of November. Before that, there are the Vision Zero Days in Düsseldorf in October. And in the World Congress, about 1/3 of all sessions are going to deal with Vision Zero. So we sent out a newsletter on the 28th of September to over 16,000 Vision Zero supporters, informing them about the latest developments and what's going to happen. And we don't stop there. We have a lot of Vision Zero guides that were produced this year We talked about climate change, so we have an environmental guide. We talked about the SLIC Senior Labor Inspection Committee, so we're going to launch a new labor inspection guide. We talked about supply chains, and there is a supply chain guide. It doesn't stop. There is also a well-being guide, for example, and all this creates a great basis for Vision Zero to be implemented. But the question is, once all these materials are there, how do you implement it? And this is where I would like to kind of call upon my friend Alan Stevens from IOSH, because IOSH has actually set up an accredited Vision Zero training program for potential trainers, OSH experts who can basically join the Vision Zero wave and bring this message of the 7 golden rules into the companies, and that all over the world. So I think all the participants here at this webinar have seen, there are initiatives happening all over the world, and we don't have an African representative, but just recently in Zambia, there was an amazing OSH Africa conference where Vision Zero was really, really high on the agenda, with a very cute giraffe, a new logo of the Vision Zero movement. So you'll see it displayed here now on screen. Basically, other things that are happening is we have a new Vision Zero website. You can join, log in with your LinkedIn account, and now you can post your own Vision Zero news. So it's going to be approved, of course, so that it's only Vision Zero news and no other news. So it can take a couple of days for validation. But now with your professional LinkedIn account, you can share all your activities on this platform. I think that's quite a good way forward. And like this, we can promote the Expo in Japan, and we can promote the EU OSHA activities, the Vision Zero Fund activities, etc., etc. Vision Zero is a strategy, and it has proven to be effective, not only in Luxembourg, as I had mentioned before, but also in Malaysia, for example. They managed to reduce commuting accidents through Vision Zero training by 80%. I know that in Poland, they have managed to reduce fatal accidents quite significantly. And I recently heard that in Germany, through the Vision Zero approach, they are assessing or assuming that they will reach 50% of less early retirement because the accidents are less severe because of the introduction of Vision Zero. So the future is now, and it's looking good.
Thank you, Bernd, for this inspiring news from ISSA. Alan, your response to future activities?
I completely agree with all of the points that have been made so far. If I could sort of revert back to them, but through the eyes of the OSH practitioner. As IOSH, we have 50,000 members in 130 countries, so we see a lot of these global trends that have been referred to. The first thing about migration, Dietmar's point, you're right. If you look back over the last 30 years, there's now 1 billion people more in the workplace than there was then, and it's likely to continue. The population growth of Africa, yet there's a shortage of labour in Europe. So how does the OSH practitioner be more skillful in the future of transmitting the wonderful messages that come out of the 7 golden rules and the other great things that are from the Vision Zero Fund and everybody's contribution towards people that may not be working in their normal, their first language. And we underestimate the importance of well-being for migrant workers hugely. Particularly if we do analysis of accidents in the workplace, we jump to the first conclusion. Somebody fell off a ladder, somebody did this, but why? Why is that? And it's often down to well-being and the difficulties of being a migrant. So we need to get deeper into this. So that challenge of how do we reach people in different ways that's appropriate to them in different scenarios is really exciting. And I think technology can really help us with this. I think the OSH practitioner of the future is more likely to be a mathematician or a technology expert than a process expert. OSH, I think, is moving more from an art to a science, and how much this technology can benefit us to make this real next step change in prevention of heart. I think we're in a really, really exciting moment, based around the simple principles of the 7 golden rules, based around the Vision Zero Fund's focus on supply chains and all the great work that's coming out of EU OSHA around healthy workplace campaigns and so forth. We're sitting in a golden moment, and I cannot think of a better place to have Global Expo than Japan, the land of innovation and technology. I think we can use the 2025 conference as a real platform for how do we embrace technology, AI, and the future of robotics into taking workplace prevention to the next level. So I think we're in a great spot.
Thank you very much, Alan. Tommi.
Yes, thank you. Very interesting, inspiring thoughts from colleagues. I think in general, the Vision Zero has inbuilt holistic approach to safety, health, and well-being, and therefore I believe that Vision Zero has an ability to overcome some of the silos that sometimes form around these 3 activities, and this will bring more added value to using Vision Zero in the future. As a concept, Vision Zero is not limited only to occupational safety and health and well-being, but it can be also seen as a bridging concept and an approach for building collaboration within or between organizations and different topics. And I believe that that Vision Zero will not only expand, but it will also become increasingly prominent within wider range of enterprises activities. Good examples are environmental aspects and responsibility viewpoints for supply chain activities, which are, like Bernd already mentioned, already addressed by ISA Vision Zero guidebooks. So in general, I think that there are big themes like sustainability, social justice, climate change that actually have already Vision Zero way of thinking incorporated there. I think that there is a great synergy between these teams and Vision Zero activities, and there's also a great opportunity for cooperation and making sure that these occupational safety, health, and well-being issues are addressed when we are talking about these big themes. Of course, Vision Zero is changing all the time, and we need to think how the Vision Zero concept evolves and adapts to the changing world of work. And I think that's one of the most important aspects for us. We have to keep Vision Zero relevant to the needs of workplaces and society, and thinking how we are developing Vision Zero and how we are implementing it to the workplaces in a way that enterprises, companies, organizations understand what it's all about. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, our time for today's discussion is coming to an end. I want to warmly thank you all for joining the discussion and really sharing these important and inspiring news from your work and institutions. And for me, this discussion has been again about the demonstration about the collaboration and mutual learning that is hard at the Vision Zero. So one more time, thank you for today's discussion. And we of course hope that the discussion will continue at the workplaces and between the organization and institutions around the world. So thank you for today, and let's continue discussions. Thank you.
Thank you, Riikka and panelists, for these views on the future of Vision Zero. This is all for today. I would like once more to thank all our speakers for your presentations, and of course all of you behind your screens for joining us today in celebrating the 20 years of Finnish Vision Zero Forum. Thank you and goodbye.